Hello folks, today I thought I'd do an update on the next project I'm working on. If you recall in the last posting on the blog, I indicated I was going to move off the CB750 top end rebuild because I needed to get back to this Honda CB750 1977 model. I had profiled this project a little earlier this year, last spring. That would have been the spring of 2013, when the original owner brought it in and he needed the front brake fixed because it didn't have an operating brake. So I got it working, but he wanted me to go through the bike in more detail and fix it up a bit. Essentially what he asked me to do was to replace the front forks somewhere in its past. Someone had added or replaced the original standard forks with an extended set of chopper style forks to kick the front end out. And you can see that here in the video on the right. So the tubes you see on the right are the ones I'm taking off, and you can see that they're quite a bit longer than the originals, or the stock I should say. These are not the original forks that came off the bike. They are good used items that we found on eBay. So the forks on the left here, I'm in the process of installing. The forks on the right I have just removed. So not only do I need to replace the forks and get it back into a more stock posture, he asked me to replace the handlebars. You can see here he's got a pair of period ape hangers, which I didn't even appreciate back in the day, to be honest about it. But so we do have a pair of very nice original handlebars, period correct, for this bike that I'm going to be replacing these ape hangers. I'll be replacing all the cables, the clutch, the brake, the throttle. When I say brake, that's really the brake lines. You can see I've also pulled the master cylinder off here. I'm going to powder coat that, and I'm going to rebuild that, as well as the wheel cylinder is off. You can see in the background there the wheel. I pulled the caliper itself off the wheel, and I'll be rebuilding that and powder coating that as well. That's fundamentally what he's asked me to do with this. And as I go through the project, I will be posting either on my blog or via YouTube, probably both, some updates. You might notice the old towel I have over the fuel tank. Simple reason for that is to prevent brake fluid from leaking when I took the system apart. Obviously I had drained it first, but I didn't want any wayward brake fluid to get on the paint, because it will destroy it. It'll damage it very quickly, and in the event I was to drop a tool or something, it also prevents me from damaging the tank. So that's why I threw that. That it's clean, but it's an old shop towel that I use around here. At the bottom you can see the small motorcycle ATV jack. That's that red jack you see down here. I do have it on a center stand, but then I use the jack to just push the front end up a bit so that I could get the front wheel and keep the front wheel off the ground while I'm working on the front forks. So my next step will be to get the forks on, the replacement forks on, and then get the wheel back in place, get the brake all back together and working, new brake lines, rebuild everything, and then I'll move on to the handlebars and the controls. So that's it for this update. I'll keep you appraised. Thanks for watching. I thought I would show the wheel caliper for the CB750. I just completed bead blasting the major component here, which is where the brake caliper piston resides. You can see I've got the caliper cavity filled right now because I didn't want any media to get in there. It's pretty good shape, and I didn't want to mar it up at all with the media. I use glass beads, by the way, for this, not sodium bicarbonate. And I want to show the difference in texture of surface. This I just blasted. This is yet to be done. I'll do that in just a minute. This is the original finish, as you can see as it came apart. One of the pads goes here where my thumb is. The other one will fit here and is keyed into the split pin right here with the wheel piston, or rather I should say the brake pad piston behind it, where this piece of shop towel is. It does show some marring on the surface here. I don't know exactly what happened to it. Looks like it's been smacked with a hammer for some reason, but I'll probably touch it up with a little file and sandpaper before I powder coat it in a semi-gloss black. I left the bleeder nipple in right now because I didn't want media to get down into here. And I also, this is where the hard line from the hydraulic system plugs in right here. I also plugged that also because I didn't want any media getting in there either. Those obviously will come out before it gets powder coated. So I have yet to do this. So the intention of this brief little video is just to contrast the differences between the before and the after of the bead blasting with the glass beads. Once I have them powder coated, the components, as well as the master cylinder that fits on the handlebar, I'll do a brief video showing how they came out.